Just because it's like, unless it's like, you're like, oh, I love editing and it's like my zone of genius. And it's so like, I like wake up and I can't wait to edit. And then, or if you're that person like, yeah, I got to edit, I got to get it out, it's like when you're at the point where if you can outsource it and in that time you would have spent editing, whether it's 4 hours, whatever, 5 hours, how long does it take you to edit a video usually?
It depends completely on the video. If it's a video where I'm just sitting and talking, because I do a decent amount of those, like girl talk videos, that's going to be quick, like 2 hours, really, an hour, 2 hours. But if it's like a hair video where, I'm showing myself washing my hair, drying my hair, all of those, I mean, it's going to take forever.
Yeah. What's forever?
Depends how picky I am, but I would say like 4 or 5 hours maybe.
Yeah.
So double the time.
That's the thing. Like if you could take that 4 or 5 hours and do it doing something else, whether it's just like spending time with family or even then creating another video. Yeah. A lot of times it's worth it. I'm a big believer in that. But I know a lot of people are like yourself where they're like, I can't give up that control. But I've talked to a lot of people who once they have, they're like, oh my God, why didn't I do this sooner? But I do think it's the right match, finding the right editor. That's the thing
exactly
too. That's what people are scared about. They're like, oh, if I find somebody, but then you just, you find another person, and then it's like it's trial and error. Okay, you in your little forum, you said that you have some acting opportunities now that you're kind of acting. Have those opportunities come as a result of you being on YouTube?
No, it's completely separate. Nothing to do with YouTube. I kind of one of the reasons, essentially, really, it is one of the reasons that I started my channel. I've been with my acting agency in Atlanta for a very, very long time. I wasn't booking anything, and I was just getting really frustrated. And finally, I was like, I love YouTube. Like, I don't want to wait for someone to pick me. I'm going to just make my own show. I'm going to make my own content. And that's kind of one of the reasons that led me to starting my channel as well. And I feel like it's been one of the best things ever for me because I got so comfortable in front of the camera. Whereas before I would get so nervous on auditions, and my agent always told me like nervous people make other people nervous. And it's so true. It's so true.
People feel uncomfortable.
Totally. And they're thinking like, oh my gosh, we can't bring this girl to set. She's going to make everyone nervous. Like, she's nervous. We're nervous. She's clearly not confident in her work. And I wasn't booking. And once I started becoming so comfortable and confident in front of the camera, I started booking acting jobs, which was just looking back. I'm like, oh my gosh, of course it's cool to see, the full picture of how everything works.
So you don't include your YouTube channel or anything in your resume or when they're pitching you for an audition or anything like that?
No.
Not in your reel? None of it's in your reel or anything?
No, my reel is completely all acting work. I have a commercial reel where I've included some campaigns that I've done, like one with Breadkin, things like that. Yeah. But in terms of acting, no.
Got it. Okay, let me see what else. Oh, so how do you come up with your video topics? Obviously your hair was, I'm assuming that's from your audience or whatever, but some of these other ones, like what made you decide to do the one about, what I made for 1 million views, or even the beauty con? Like, where do you come up with those ideas?
I always wondered how much people made for 1 million views. Yeah. And I figured that would be something that people would be interested in because my audience is similar to me. And if I'm interested in something, most likely they are as well. I get a lot of my ideas from them. I feel like it's very important to be in tune with your audience and know what they want to see. Yeah. If they want to see a hair video that week, then they're going to get a hair video that week. If they want to see, a sit down, more personable, like girl talk about relationships, about whatever it may be, then that's what they're going to get. So I do try to align my videos with what my audience is into and interested in. Like once a month or probably a couple times each month on my Instagram, I'll say like, what videos do you want to see this month? And it's funny because a lot of them are commenting the same thing. So it's very clear to see like, okay, yep, we're going to do that video this week. It's really easy to see what they're interested in.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's what's, the value of having a engaged audience. They help you figure out what content to create. You're creating content for them. Okay, so we are getting to the last part of the interview. I'm calling this the Power Hour segment. So basically, I'm just going to list off questions that I ask every single person that's come on the show, and you kind of come up with your first answer. So what would you say are the defining moments of your YouTube career so far?
I think for me, the coolest moment was when I saw my billboard in LA that I had with Aussie. That was just a couple months ago. And it was just like this full circle surreal moment where I was like, wow, like a little old girl from Snellville, Georgia is on a billboard in LA. Like, this is mind blowing. It was
that's cool.
Such a moment. It was great.
That's amazing. And how did that opportunity come about? Was that something that you got through your manager or they reached out to you?
Yes. So Aussie reached out to me about doing it kind of built up. I feel like that's how a lot of deals happen. They kind of do like a one-off post with you to see how that does. If that does well, then maybe they'll do a 6-month collab with you. If that does really well, then they'll move forward with a year collab with you, etc. So it was kind of like a building relationship with them, which I love. And then it ultimately led to the BeautyCon campaign, and it was an amazing campaign. I mean, they absolutely killed it. It was beautifully done and so well thought out.
What do you mean BeautyCon campaign?
So for BeautyCon, we had a meet and greet with Aussie, and they turned us into, we worked with a Marvel illustrator.
Who's us? Were there a couple other influencers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So there was 3 other girls. We were all curly girls, and they brought us to life as superheroes.
Oh, cool.
So, yes, they called us the Shiros, and we worked with Jen Bartel, who is a Marvel illustrator, and we had so many calls, like working on our story plot of our characters, and I mean, it was awesome. Like, oh my gosh, it was really, really interesting to see how long a campaign of that level takes, and just to see the background work of how many people. I mean, it was wow. Like, it was fascinating. But yeah, so, and then it kind of all came to this culmination moment of me as a cartoon Shiro billboard in LA, and it was so just cool. Wild.
That's wild. So cool. So did you go check out the billboard when you were in town for BeautyCon?
Yes, of course. It was so cool. Great.
That's amazing.
So fun.
What is the hardest part for you about being a YouTube influencer?
The hardest part for me personally is probably maintaining a schedule. Working from home, of course, is such a blessing, and I don't take that for granted, but it's extremely difficult to have the self-discipline if, you don't have to walk into work at 8:00 to do it yourself from home. I don't necessarily have to film that day, but I need to. So I do, just creating that schedule of normalcy. It takes a lot of discipline. In the beginning, I mean, I wouldn't leave my house for like a week, and it's tricky. And it got to a point where it was a little unhealthy, and I had to realize, like, okay, even if, I could edit from home in my living room, but I need to go to Starbucks and edit there so that I can be around people and just have a normal life. So it really takes, some self-control and discipline to work from home, which I'm still mastering.
I was gonna say, how are you doing that?
I think I almost try to think of it as clocking in and clocking out, as cheesy as that sounds. Yeah. It's like, okay.
You have to set boundaries.
Absolutely. So I have, now I have an office in my condo, and I say, okay, 9 a.m., checking in, and no one's checking to see if I'm there on time, but like I am my own boss. So I have to hold myself accountable, and I have to show up at 9 o'clock. And then I have to also, at the end of the day, say, okay, now it's time to check out, because that was something that I was having a hard time with at the beginning. And even still, I mean, the emails never stop, and it's very easy to be, in bed at 9 o'clock and, oh, look, I just got this deal come in. Like, let me read over this contract really quick. Like,
yeah.
But you have to stop yourself, because, it can hurt the relationships of people around you. And it's just not the best thing for yourself. I feel like I became a bit of a workaholic, and you have to set boundaries.
What if you were to get started today, what would you have done differently?
I would, in the very beginning, have just been myself. Like I said at the very beginning, I was trying to be what I thought was the popular thing on YouTube, which was like, perfect looking people with perfect little drinks beside them and perfect magazines laid out. And that was kind of how YouTube was, more so in the beginning. And now it's really honoring and glorifying like people's individuality, which is what I love so much about YouTube now. So I feel like if I could start over, I would just start from the beginning as myself, be myself. And I mean, that's all you can ever be.
Yeah, definitely. What are you most proud of when it comes to your channel?
I would say that I am most proud of helping women of all men and women of all ages embrace their natural beauty. That's something that I try to speak about on my channel again and again. It's a constant theme throughout. It's so important. And, with today's society of Instagram and Instagram baddies and all of this, it can hurt your self-esteem. And I try my hardest on my page to keep a very positive energy about it, and just help people to feel confident and beautiful in their own skin.
That's great. If you can change one thing about YouTube, what would it be?
Oh my goodness. If I could change one thing about YouTube. If I could change anything about YouTube, I don't like currently with YouTube that thumbnails and titles they have to be so like jarring and crazy and clickbaity. You have to be, doing something insane or half naked. I mean, the content that's on YouTube these days is crazy. And
True.
In order to get that click or that view, you have to be doing something so insane and extreme and shocking. Exactly. And it's just not necessary. And I don't love that aspect of it. Yeah. I don't ever want to have to create a thumbnail that's not me just to get views,
Yeah. I mean, your thumbnails are good though. I mean, how do you come up with, let's see, your thumbnails? I mean, they're definitely, these befores and afters, right? You can't see it for some reason, but yeah. I mean, you got some good.
Thank you.
You do a lot of these before and afters.
They're decent. They're decent. I feel like for me personally with thumbnails, I used to spend like, 5 seconds making a thumbnail. Okay. Yeah. Take a screenshot from the video.
You're done.
Now I create like probably, I would say I create 3 thumbnails for every video.
Oh, okay.
Send them to friends, send them to my mom, say which one would you click. Really try to take a look at the different ones. I mean, you spend so much time on the video from buying the products, filming it, all this stuff, and then the thumbnail is really what's gonna sell the video and make it clickable. So if you then take 5 seconds on that, you've kind of just ruined all of your hard work.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
I feel like that's a big change I've made more so recently, is spending significantly more time on the thumbnail and making multiple thumbnails so that I can really pick the best one.
So do you ever test them on YouTube? I know you can kind of like test them on YouTube. Or is it really you're just making multiple ones to just get opinions from people?
Yeah, more so that one, yeah.
Okay.
Plus the latter.
Interesting. Okay. Let's see. What has been the biggest mistake you've made on your YouTube channel?
I think the biggest mistake that I've made on my YouTube channel in the beginning more so would be kind of what I said earlier of trying to not only be who I thought people wanted me to be, but create content that I thought people wanted me to create. Whereas if I just make what I'm genuinely passionate about, you know, that reads through completely. Whether it's a video on underwater basket weaving, like there's a following for that. There's a niche for that. And if I'm passionate about it and interested in that, then people are going to want to hear about that. But if I'm talking about something that I don't really care as much about just to get views.
Yeah, because it's viral.
It reads, exactly. It reads as fake so quickly. And I feel like if you want to have a long-lasting YouTube career, like focusing on what you're truly passionate about is what's going to do that. Because you'll get burnt out so quickly from making videos you don't really love, you know?
So true. You need that passion to fuel you because it's a lot of work to be, you know, a YouTube personality and create content.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What is the best decision you've made about your YouTube channel?
The best decision I've made about my YouTube channel. I think the best decision I've made is sticking to my beliefs and my morals. I have felt in the beginning, all right, I'll share something. In the beginning, I did one sponsorship that I was not proud of. And I won't say the brand because I feel like that would be bad, but it was a tea brand. You know, you can guess the ones. Yeah. And I was just so excited that they had reached out to me. And I did taste the tea first before I signed the contract. I did think it tasted good. Yeah. But looking back, it's like, okay, India, come on, do better. And ever since then, because I just wasn't really proud of that. I didn't feel good about it. It just didn't sit well with me because it wasn't something that I was like super passionate about. Like I was just doing it more so because, like this is what all the famous YouTubers promote. So like I want to be like a famous YouTuber. Yeah. I want to promote this. Yeah. And that's not me, you know. I'm always myself, and I don't need to be anyone else or do what everyone else is doing. It's not like I secretly hated the tea, but I mean, was it doing some life-changing miracle thing in my body? Like, no, it was just tea. Yeah. And you know, and ever since then, I take my sponsorships extremely seriously because I don't want for someone to promote a product to me that they don't genuinely love. I feel like so many YouTubers that I follow, I feel like they're my friends, you know? And if Sammy Marie promotes a necklace to me, I'm going to buy that necklace from Sammy Marie because I love her channel and I genuinely feel like we're friends. And so if I promote something to someone and they spend their hard-earned money on it, like I want for them to see results. I want for them to like it. And it's just now, I mean, it was only a one-time thing, but ever since, I just take it so seriously. And I always tell my management, like, we're not doing any tea things. No tea. That is one thing I will never do. Yeah. Golly.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, there's a level of responsibility, you know, as
100%
a YouTuber, an influencer, and no, that's great. What is the... Did I already ask this one? What's the best... No, I asked that one. The best decision you made about your channel? Did I ask that one?
Yeah, sticking to the morals. Yeah.
What is the best opportunity you've received as a result of your channel?
Ooh. Well, more recently, I did a campaign with Maui Moisture that I was really, really passionate about. Um, it was all about the diversity of curls, and it was just so powerful and important. I feel like in the curly hair community, often just one curl type, one look is represented, typically 3A, 3B. And people who are of the wavy, far end, 2A, 2B, 2C, or people who are on the other end of coily and they're 4A, 4B, 4C are not necessarily as represented. And this campaign featured all curl types, from waves to curls to coils. It had moms, it had college kids, it had women of all ethnicities and backgrounds. And to be a part of something just so diverse and inclusive was really, really important and special. And I love getting behind brands that get it, you know?
Yeah, that you feel good about. That's great. That's awesome. What was it? Was it like a commercial? Did you promote it? Did you do like a collab, or what were the details of that?
Yes. So we had a photo shoot in LA for their lines, and then we did a video shoot in New York, which turned out to be a commercial that they used on YouTube, which was fun because my Maui Moisture commercial would come up before a lot of my videos, actually, which was funny.
Yeah. When I was watching your videos, or like when, kind of studied up on your channel for the interview, I was like getting a bunch of ads for like curly haired stuff like later on. So
right.
I was like, oh yeah, they think I have curly hair, but that's funny. And last question, what is your YouTube superpower? Meaning, what is something that comes naturally to you that has contributed to your success on YouTube?
I feel like my YouTube superpower would be just being personable and myself. I try to make my videos feel intimate, like I'm genuinely talking to you as a friend. We're literally in my bathroom hanging out, doing our hair, doing our makeup, doing our skincare, talking about boys, talking about whatever it may be. I don't want it to feel like you're just like watching a show or something like that. I want it to be personable. I want us to be friends. And I feel like that comes across in my videos, and something that I definitely try to create for my audience.
I think that's great. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. It's been lovely talking to you and hearing about your journey. And why don't you share with everybody watching, if you're here on YouTube or listening, where they can find you?
Well, thank you so much for having me. I said before we were kind of chatting before this interview, and I told her that I have listened to this podcast so many times. I listened to Amber Scholl's. I listened to Alexandra Girly Talks. I listened to so many. So when I saw
I'm so glad.
when I saw this pop up in my emails, I was like, oh my gosh, Erika, this is so cool.
Well, thank you.
So yeah, big fan. And you also look like Angelina Jolie, and I just felt like I had to say that.
Whoa, I've heard different things. I've never heard that before. I could take her lips.
Oh my god,
I love her lips any day.
Your eyes, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, Angelina. Okay.
Thank you.
You guys can find me at India Batson. India, just like the country, and Batson, Batson. That's my Instagram, YouTube, all that jazz. And yeah, I hope you guys come check it out, and we can hang out in my bathroom.
Yeah, you are. It's funny because I was turned on by you through. I usually like release. I'll like message on my Facebook group or whatever, like, oh, who should I interview? And people mention your name. So I wasn't familiar with you, but then, I was watching your channel, and I have to say, you do really, one of the things, it sounds like you are very in tuned or in touch kind of with yourself. Because I would have to say that your superpower really is, you just seem very, very relatable in your videos. And it's just like a friend talking. So I say, yeah, that's working for you. So thank you so much.
That really means a lot to me.
Yeah, I mean it's great. And I mean, speaking of eyes, I mean her eyes are like the bluest, most insane, beautiful blue eyes like ever. So if you guys are listening, you got to go check her out. But thank you so much, Aunt India. It was such a pleasure having you on.
Thank you, Erika.
Thank you
guys.
Bye.
Have a good rest of your day.